Are you listening?
All right, and joining us this week is a very special guest, a friend of the show. I feel like I have to say this is the third time this developer has come on the show. AJ from Unit 2 Games, the studio behind Crayta. AJ, thank you so much for being here.
Very good to be here.
Yeah, a lot has changed since we last spoke. Last time Unit 2 was on the show, you guys were going free to play, and you were going to the Epic Games Store. Since then, you are now part of Meta, so you're a Facebook company, and you are now on Facebook Cloud Gaming. How has that been internally for the company?
It's been absolutely crazy. It's like you said, so much has been happening, and this is even the biggest thing that could have happened to us so far. So yeah, things internally are just super exciting. Every single day, we sort of can't quite believe this is happening to something. To us, it's really awesome. It's definitely for everyone in the company, it's the biggest thing that's really ever happened to them. So yeah, lots happening, big exciting stuff coming, and yeah, hopefully more to come in the future.
Yeah, it's a very exciting time, and there's people who are familiar with what Crayta is, but I have to assume you coming to Facebook Cloud Gaming has caused some interest for new players. So how do you define Crayta to those new players?
Yeah, Crayta is a big collaborative creation game platform where we sort of democratize creation, really. So anyone from any level, beginner to advanced, can create on the platform. And we have this thing where we big on standing on the shoulders of giants. So people who are much more advanced creators can publish things for smaller, more new creators to download and use and learn from. So it's a nice sort of cyclic system that sort of happens. And everything is done in game. All creation and play is all done within Crayta. So to have that now on Facebook Cloud Gaming is awesome because it's just so easy to get to for so many more people now.
Where does the name Crayta come from?
Yeah, we get that a lot actually. It actually came from our CEO, of the CEO of Unit 2, now head of studio, Richard. There were lots of names are being thrown around, and he basically just said Crayta as a combination of create and player, as if they were one word. So, and it just sort of came out, and we're like, that really works because it makes create and play the same thing. Like it's all one thing. Like playing can be creating can be playing, and it just sort of it stuck and it's worked really well.
That's a way better story than I thought.
What was yours?
We have accent differences, right? And when you say the word creator or creator, we say creator in the States, but in UK, sometimes if you say creator fast, it's Crayta. And I was like, oh, Crayta kind of sounds like the England version of creator, but I love that story instead.
And we always say that we really like that it sounds kind of spacey as well.
Yeah, and also I love the line of standing on the back of giants. I think that's one of the cool things about Crayta is I jumped into it after the Facebook announcement to see what has changed, and man, the asset library is huge. There's tons of there's a freaking pirate ship that you can just throw into a game, and I was thinking it was gonna be like a little tiny ship, but it's ginormous.
No, that's the best thing for me about it is that whole concept that we work with is really nice.
So with Crayta being a part of Facebook Cloud Gaming, how does a new prospective player join Crayta? How do they find the game?
It's really, really easy. Anyone with a Facebook account it's one click away. If you go into the gaming tab, we're right there. Now that we're on Facebook Cloud Gaming, is that anyone with a Facebook account that has cloud gaming available where they're from can click straight into it. It's all available right there in the browser, like 1 or 2 clicks away from the Facebook desktop, and even on mobile, which is really awesome. We are still available on Stadia and Epic Games Store as well. So this is all cross-play. So, people who are playing on Facebook will still be playing alongside our Stadia and Epic players.
Now, you mentioned Google Stadia. When the game launched there, we saw some Stadia exclusive features, specifically where you could take your game, put it in a link, and somebody could immediately jump into the instance. Are we going to see a similar thing on Facebook Cloud Gaming where someone can post a link on their timeline and then jump into that instance? Or what are you guys doing on the back end of that?
That same sort of process is still available. So you can still create a share link to the direct game that you're in, and that's now available on Facebook as well. You can send that via Messenger, and it will show exactly what game it is that you're linking to with a nice little unfurl, and you can jump straight in with people just exactly the same as we have with Stadia.
Now, last week there was a video with the announcement that you guys are now part of Facebook Cloud Gaming where the team at Unit 2 got to play with Mark Zuckerberg. What was that like? What was that like to have this just ginormous person that everyone's aware of that's had an impact on the world jump into your game and play with you?
That was something else. Like, even when we heard that might even be an inkling of a possibility, even that was enough to just blow our minds. The fact that one of the most, arguably one of the most talked about and known person in the world is playing Crayta. It was really awesome, and to see him not only playing it but also enjoying it. Everything we've heard back is that he absolutely loves the platform and loves how possible it is. And he talks in the video about that's where he sort of started that gaming, and I think he kind of really brought that back to him. But yeah, to see our colleagues and our community members, Kay and Jaikos, playing alongside him that made it all feel very, very real and very surreal at the same time.
Yeah, I can't imagine he has too much free time, but I would love to see what Zuckerberg could create in an engine like Crayta. That would be fascinating.
Definitely honored to have him play it, yeah.
Going back to the Facebook conversation, obviously a big push for Meta right now is the Metaverse. And ever since the first trailer that I saw with Crayta, I've always kind of felt that was the perfect example of what the Metaverse could be. You have user-created content and everybody can kind of get together. And now that you're throwing the social side of Facebook into that, has there been internal talks at Unit 2 of what your role will be like in the future of the Metaverse, or what you guys are planning?
It's interesting because I think even before, like way before the Facebook acquisition, the Meta acquisition, we were always very metaversey anyway. I think we always had that vision for us, the idea that creation and play is in the same place, and you can link that and share it across the internet for people to come and join you. So to come and then join with a company that's put so much of its efforts and time and money into the metaverse and the future of that, it just felt like the perfect pairing. And as you say, that kind of metaverse feel is very common within Crayta. So yeah, the future of us with Meta, and we are part of the Metaverse org within Meta, so we really hope that the future has something really cool in the integration of all different stuff there. I think we're really excited to see where that's going to go, really.
So within Crayta itself, how many games have been created within the actual game so far?
We are actually just over 4,500 creations within Crayta now, and that's obviously games, galleries, showcases, everything, because people don't just make games in Crayta. But yeah, so really large amount, and we hope that even more will come along now.
And you guys are still doing game jams, right? I think I saw on Twitter earlier this week that there's actual game jams going on. Can you touch on that a little bit?
That's not stopped. We were doing them before, but now we've got really big prizes behind them. So we've actually just about to finish one today, actually. We've got a build jam going on under the theme Treasure Hunt. So we sort of challenge people to make packages for other community members in ways that fit that theme, sort of maps and ways to find things. But yeah, we're doing one of those every single month with up to 50,000 prize pool, and maybe bigger ones coming soon in the future as well.
Has there been anything that you guys released something and then somebody created and you're like, how the heck did you do this?
That does happen to me almost every week sometimes, I swear. But the really cool one that happened recently is, I don't know if you've seen, but along with Curse Galleons, we launched mesh scaling. I knew that people would run with it, but some of the things that I just would not have even thought. Like my favorite one I saw recently is someone's created a art gallery by squashing the meshes down to 2D and creating like abstract art in a gallery space. That was really cool, really clever use of it. And people putting things up to the max level of the mesh, and it just takes over the entire. Yeah, people are really talented, and every single week there's something that I'm like, how?
Now, on top of mesh scaling, the other thing that was recently added was NPCs, correct?
So this is our first pass at NPCs. We've just added them, so they're a very early sort of version of them. So we hope that a lot more will come in the future. But we've already seen people, the main thing that people use is it populates the maps so much. Like people make these huge maps, and if only, say for example, there's someone enters it alone, it feels a lot more alive. There's people there for shopkeepers, whereas before people were using like scarecrows and such. We've now got actual characters, our wonderful skins, which all of them are available to use. So yeah, that's the first thing that people have been doing. But already within a week of them being released, people were creating army hordes that chased you, bots to join you to fight alongside while you're waiting for other players. Recently, we saw people create a whole team of people racing against you, and you have to beat the NPCs to win. Even at this early version of NPCs, people have really run with it. So yeah, exciting to see what more we do with them in the future. With
it coming to Facebook, one of the big things that I noticed was that it feels like this might have been the first time that Crayta got custom touch controls for mobile players, correct?
Well, we had a version of it with Stadia, obviously. So Stadia, we had mobile, and they had a really sort of quite intuitive mobile controls. But yeah, we've now coming onto Facebook cloud gaming, but we obviously know that a lot of people play that on their mobile, so we've optimized that quite heavily now. They come up sort of automatically when you put your controls in, and the buttons appear depending on which ones you've got inputted. But it's definitely a lot more optimized now, so mobile gamers will enjoy it a lot more.
Every single time you guys come on the show, I have to ask this question because as a fan of Crayta, it's been something that I've been paying attention to since the very beginning. On the original map, you jump underneath, there's some staircases that you've got to be a very skilled player to get to. I get to it. There's a door that's got some spray paint. You can never open it. I jumped into the Facebook instance. First thing I did, AJ, I jumped off the map. The door's not there. The door's gone. What is the door? Can you explain it to me, please?
You're gonna kick yourself a little bit here. So you might have just missed it. So we didn't say anything because we know, like you said, very skilled players only really knew it. Only the sort of quite close community really knew about that door and would always ask about it. About 2 weeks before we surprise launched onto Facebook Gaming, we actually opened those doors. And there was a portal inside those doors to the new hub, which if you jump into the version of Crayta now, is the hub that you'll see now. So we said nothing about it. We didn't promote it anywhere. We teased it a little bit on some socials. But yeah, we did open that door. We always imagined that that door would be, when it did open, that it would be a big step in where Crayta was going on its journey. And we thought this felt like the right thing, that it's a whole new platform, a whole new design hub. It felt like the right thing for finally those famous doors to open, but we wanted only the people that really cared and really knew. But you just missed it. I know you were busy.
I did. But I guess in the sense of me jumping into the new portal, I can just imagine that I'm going through the door to experience what was behind it. Well, AJ, I appreciate you coming on, and I appreciate everything that you and the team at Unit 2 do to create this game and to create a wonderful game for creators out there. If somebody wants to find more information about Crayta, where should they go?
You can find us on most socials, so we're at Crayta Game in most places. On Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and yeah, please do join our new Facebook group, the official Crayta community. Come join and meet all the new players and creators and get to know some people. It'd be really awesome.
Well, thanks again, AJ, and thank you to Unit 2 for coming on the show this week. Unfortunately, that is going to wrap up this week's episode of the Nerf Report, but until next time, my name is Bryant. This has been the Nerf Report, and we will see you in next week's video. Thanks so much. Hey, thanks again for checking out our channel. If you like what you saw and you want to see more content just like it, which who wouldn't, hit the subscribe button right there. And while you're down there, hit the like button. Maybe even consider becoming a Nerf Report best friend, just like the people listed down below did. In fact, don't you want to see your name there? I know I do.